Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today in this video, we are going to do a new case study or a project in MySQL. This time I'm going to use a retail DB database that is already available on internet. You can download it, but I'll leave the complete query in the description box so you can just copy paste it and run it. It's a big database. There are multiple tables. Let's have a look at it. So let me start the MySQL command line. So here, if you see, this is asking me to enter the password, and this is for the root user password. Once I enter the password, I'm inside the MySQL, and here I can write the query to explore the databases. Right now, I'm using the root user, the main user. If I just say databases, it would show us all the databases. And if I want to see the user, I can just say select user from user table that is inside the MySQL DB. And here I have to end the query always with a semicolon, otherwise it won't run. Now if I enter, so we have these users, root user, which is right now here. Then we have DB user and the other user, which system gives us. And these are the databases. So suppose if I want to use a database, I can simply say use retail DB and database changed. Now here I can just go ahead and say tables. We have these tables inside the database. Same way, we can also describe the table and see the details of the tables. But before this, let me show you something else. So as I said, I'm using the root user right now. And if I have to use another user, right now I do also have this DB user. So what if I want to use the DB user? For that, I have to start a new command line. This is a Windows command line, not the SQL one. And inside this, I can go to the program files. Then I can search for MySQL. Then I can again search for MySQL Server 8.0. This could be different for you. And then we go inside the bin folder. Now here, I can access the MySQL by a different user. So for that, I have to write a command. It says MySQL, then there's username, that is DB user for us, and then there's P, that is password. Once I enter it, it will ask me for the password of this user, not the root user, this user, DB user. So I can just enter the password. Okay, so there's something wrong. If I say DB user, now I'm inside the MySQL command line. Here I can do the same thing, but right now, if I say show databases, and we have these databases. With the root user, we have seen there were multiple databases, but here we only have those 4 databases. And to have the another database, we have to get the access from the root user. So here we have the database. Let's say I want to use the retail DB database change. Let's say show tables right now. So we have these tables. If I have to find something about the table, I say describe products. So we have these details of the table. We have these field, code, name, scale, vendor, by price, MSRP, product line, and we have the type, varchar, text, small and double, whether the value is null or not, null allowed or not. Then we have the key. Okay. So if suppose I have to write a query, as we do in the workbench, we can do the same thing here. If I say write everything from products, and let's limit the data to 10. Okay, so this was a lot of data. That's because the names are, I think, a little bigger. So what I can do is, let's in the describe table we have multiple names. So if I say select product name, product line, product vendor, buyer price from products, that's our table name, and let's limit the data to 10. So we have these details. Again, if I have to do more, like I can put a condition if I want. I can just say where buy price is greater than 85. So we have all the data where the buy price is more than 85. So this is how we use the command line from the Windows command line also, and from the MySQL command line client. All right, so now let's go back to the MySQL workbench and we'll start the project. So now we are going to start working on the retail DB database. Here in the workbench, I can just say use retail DB, and this would give us access to the retail DB. I can also write show tables here, as we have already seen the table's name. And if I have to describe a table, again, describe products, and this would give us the details of the products. So I can comment it these, and then we can move further. Let's start exploring the basic things first, and then gradually we'll move to the advanced query. So in the first few minutes, I'll just explore the simple queries. We won't do anything different. Also, I do have a list of questions I'll be sharing with you guys later on. So first thing, well, let's say select everything from products. So this is the product table. Now, if you want to pick a name, again, as I've done this earlier also, I can just write the column name. So these are the column name, product code, product name, scale, vendor. These are the product name, and these are the rows. These are the complete rows. This is a one row, second, third, the rows. If I have to select something, I can select it here. And then if I have to put a condition here, I can give a condition, like I can say quantity in stock is more than 7,500. If we run it, we would have all the data where the quantity in stock is more than 7,500. If we look carefully, this is select, and this is to fetch or pull the data as the data. Then the second one is from where data has to come. And then third one is if there is any condition applied. Okay, these are the main three things. Later on, we'll see different things. These are the main three things. Select is to fetch the data, whatever type of data we want, all the data for the columns, from where, table name, and if there is any condition. Now, let's move ahead and see what we can do. Let's, in the product, we have the product line. So we say from products, get the product line. We have these product line, but there are multiple values, duplicate values. So what I can do, I can say distinct. Now we have the distinct value. To run this query, I can just select it and then click here. Or what I can do is I can just select it and then enter control and enter. This would run the query. Let's move ahead. So select product name. And again, I have to put the semicolon, otherwise it will show us the error. From products, where product name, and I can say like this, are like, and let's say shape, and let's say board. This means all the product name where this shape or board, these phrases are inside these name, only those will come out. So if I run it again, we have this. These two. If I say everything, click everything, I can get the all the details. Now, what we can do is, let's count the values as per the product line. If I say select everything from products, here now I'm going to give the name product line. These are column name. And then I can say count everything. Again, I'm getting this error, so I have to put the semicolon here. Products. And then because we are counting the data for the product line, so we are finding how many products are inside each product line. So I can here go and say group by product line. And then we can also do the order by column 2. So I'll say 2 here. And now let's suppose if I run this, we have this data. And so we have this product line trains, which has 3 products, shape has 9, trucks and buses has 11, plane 12, motorcycle 13, vintage cars and classic cars. Okay, so all these data is here. And if I have to get it in the different order, I can say DES descending order. And let's run this. So here we have in the descending order. Okay, so now let's move ahead. And let's move ahead and see different table, and we can look inside the payments table. We run this, we get the data of payments table. Let's say select count of all the data from payments. This would give us the count of all the data. Then if I have to say select average of amount from payments, this would give us the amount of the data. Whatever amount we have, the amount, it will calculate the average and it will give you the average of the amount. The value is a little bigger. What I can do is I can just say round, and then we can round this value up to 2 decimal point. And now if I run this, we get this. And let's say here is one more thing. If you look at this, we have a different column name here, round, average, amount. This is not a good column name. I can give a name to this column name. Yes, I say as, and give it a name. Let's say average amount. If we run this, we have this. Let's find out the max amount. This would give us the max amount of payments. All the amount is here. From all the amount, we have the max amount. Select min amount as min amount, column name, from payments. This would give us the minimum amount. So we have the maximum amount, we have the minimum amount. Now let's write some complex queries. So we saw this query here, okay? So this query, when we run this, we get this average amount. Okay, now what we have to find is, we want to find out all the rows where amount is greater than average amount. So this amount is 32,431. We want to find out all the records whichever greater than this. So if I say select everything from payments, now because there is a condition applicable, I say where amount. Now I cannot just go ahead and do something like this, average amount. I cannot really do this anything. So great. What I can do is I have to write this query here. Let's copy this query, and here inside the base I can write this query. So here, if I run this query, I get this amount. Now when this whole query will run, first this query will run. This query would give us this data, this 32,431. So instead of this whole query, we would have a value of 32,431.65, and this would give us the all the data where the value is more than this. So if I run this, we get the data. All the values are more than this amount, but we want to write a query here because we do not know the value. So now if I run this, here we have all the data where the amount is more than the average amount, right? Let's write a few more queries. So we see here the maximum amount. When I run this query in the maximum amount, we are getting only the maximum value. What if I want to find out all the data? Find all columns for max amount. So how would we do it? We say select everything from payments. This is the table name, where amount, here we wanted to find out the more than, here we were finding the equal to, because we want to find out the data for the max amount. And I say amount is equal to, again, and then this query, run it. So this query would give us the maximum amount, and wherever the amount is this maximum, this query will fetch the complete data. Now, if I run this, we have the complete data. Okay, let's go ahead and write a more complex query. So here we have something like max amount. I want to find out the second best amount, or 5 best amount after the highest amount. So after this amount, there would be multiple rows. We want to find out the next 5. So how would we do it? Here, what we can do is, again, let's write select everything, input it here, and then we say from payments, and here we are going to give a condition where amount is less than this amount. This I can put it inside the bracket. So when I run this query, we would have everything that is after the highest amount, not this one, but everything. So we have all the data, but not this data. Now, what we can do is simply here, let's say, limit the data by 5. But before that, we have to also do the order by. So I say order by the amount, and we can say in the descending order. Now, if I run this, so we have the data. After the best amount, we have these 5 rows where the amount are, these are the top 5 amount. Okay. This is how we do it. We can do the same thing for the minimum. If I want to find the second minimum amount, we can do the same thing. Okay. So, okay, this was great. Now, if we want to move further and in the further queries, we can also do the join and everything. And now there are multiple tables, so you can explore multiple tables. But because we can do the join also, so let's write few queries where we have to use the join, and we'll join these multiple tables and see what we can find. So before we move to the joining the tables, let's write a few more queries. And we are going to use the custom table this time. So from customers. Okay, so these are the details we have in the customers. It's a big table. Now we have customer name, contact last name, contact first name, phone, address, city, state. Here we have also have multiple null values also. So let's count the customers from the maybe the countries. So what we can do is select country, and then from country we have the count. Let's count the values, and let's call this total from customers, and we have to group by country. Let's run this. So we have this all the customers by the countries. Here we can also put the order by. I can just copy this and say in the descending order, we have the data where the USA is 36, Germany 13. Here, when we are running this table, you see we have this sales rep employee number also. That means that each customer has a sales rep employee number, representative employee number from the company who might be dealing with this client. And it has multiple values, but it also has null values. Select everything from customers where sales is null. So if we run this query, we have all the data where the sales rep is now null. There's no detail of the sales representative. Same way, if I have to run a query where the sales rep is available, we can say not null. And if I run this, you see we have all the data where the sales representative ID is given. What if we want to count this? want to count where the data is null and where the data is not null. So we have 22 and we have 100. Okay. Now let's write a query where we can see this data in the single query. Not like this, because here we have to write two queries. So what we can do is we'll write a single query using the case statement. Select. And now we are going to use the case. So I'll say case when. Let me do one thing. From customers. Is a case when sales rep employee number is null, then end. And we can call this no sales rep. Then we say case when sales rep employee number is not null and has sales rep yes. This is going to be no. Now we have to count it. Then we have to say here in the then, I'm going to say 1. Also, I missed the then here. Then 1. Now we're going to count this then. I can say here count. And here also count. I'll remove this where. So what I'm doing is I'm saying case when sales representative employee number is null, then 1. And then I'm counting this. Whatever number this condition is correct, then we would have this 1 and it will count all the 1. And this would give us the total. If I run this now, we have sales rep no 22, sales rep yes 100. Okay, so this was the case and how to use the case statement. Now let's start doing the joining, how to join the tables. Now we have these multiple tables and let's explore a few other. So we got the customers, then we have the employee tables. Let's select employees table. Then we run this. We have the employee number, last name, first name, email, title, and everything. So this employee number is probably going to be this sales rep number, right? Let's see what we can find out. We're going to join these two tables. Select everything. And from customers, then we say join employees table on the customers table. We have the sales rep employee number, and then in the employee table we have the employee number, right? Now, if you look at this, I'm using these names here. This might be a little difficult to write every time we write a join. So I can give a alias here also. So customer table, I'm calling it C, and employee, let's call this E. Here I can replace customers with C and employees with E. And this would give us all the data. If I run this, all the data, which is common in the both the table. But we do not want all the data. We will do something else here. So let's first look at the from C, we are going to say customer name. Then we also have the contact name, first name and last name. Contact first name and contact last name, but or in the employee also we would have a name. So in the employee table, yeah, we have the last name and the first name. So we are going to say contact, and here we can give the e dot first name, and then we can say e dot last name as rep name. This would give us the customer name and the representative name. We run this now. We have these details, but here there's something missing. So I need to create some space here. I'll give a comma like this, some space. And this would give us the create the space between the name now. We have the customer name and then the representative name. Customer name, representative name. Let's move ahead and look at the payment now. So select everything from payments. The payment, we have the check number, date, amount, and the customer number. And in the customer table, we have seen here these customer name, and they are the multiple customer names. So we can pick any customer name. Let's pick this mini wheels company, and we are going to find details for this one. So okay, from payments, let's join customers. Call this C, and the payment table, I'm going to call this P. We are going to join on, we must have some number. So we have customer number here. P dot, we have customer number, C dot customer number. Okay. Now let's find out details for this particular one. So we'll say from the customer table, we say customer, we need a condition here, C dot customer name is equal to this mini wheels co company, and if I run this, this would give us the data for this company, but there are multiple rows. So what I want is I want to count the amount of the payment, because in the payments we have the amount. So here I can give the A dot customer name, and then let's sum the P dot amount. If we run this, it will show us an error. So we have to do the zero by on the this C dot customer name, C dot customer name. Because we are using this aggregate function here in the select, we have to use this rest of the column in the group by. Now if I run this, so this mini wheels company has a total sum amount of 67,710. Let's give it a total amount. So, okay, this is the total amount, and we have changed the column name also. Let's write it here. Total amount for mini wheels company. And here also we can say sales rev for each customer. Diwali time, so we have the firecracker going on. Now let's move ahead. Now, if we look at the payment table again, and there are multiple things we can do with the tables. In the payment tables, we have the payment date also. What if I have to find the month for each date? I can just go and say payment date. And if we run this, we have the different column that is month payment date. We can call this as month, and it would be month. Same if I say year, payment date as year. And this would give us the year. We have month and year. So let's add this amount on the basis of years. So select. We are going to say year from payments date. So if you notice this right now, I cannot give any prompt. If I write anything, I'm not getting any prompt. That is because the query doesn't know which table I'm using. The best way to write a query like this is write select first, give it a name of the table, payments. Now, query knows we are using the payment table. If I say year, payment date, so now we have the prompt. And let's say year. And then we are going to sum the amount. So this is a sum. And I can now do the same thing in the group by, because this is the column we are using. And now if we run this, we have the sum by the years also. So let's move ahead and find out a few more things. So in the payment, we can do a lot of things. And if I have to find a payment which is more than some amount with the customer name, how would I do it? So in the payments, we have the amount. Now we can join this with the customers. Let's call this C. And the payment table is P. Joining on. So we have customer number, P dot number, and then C dot customer number. Okay. Now we want to find out where P dot amount is greater than, let's say, 100,000. We have done this earlier. And then, because we are going to get multiple rows, like if I run this, so this Euro plus shopping channel, it has 2 rows. Same way we would have multiple rows, We want to count these. Maybe I can reduce this number so we would have more data. 50,000. So now we have multiple data, and this data, this customer name might be in multiple times. So here we have this Ereku terms. Euro is here, euro is here, euro is again here, euro is here. Okay. So let's do it. Let's sum up everything. So here we say C dot customer name, comma, let's sum it up. So from P, I'm going to take amount, and I'm going to call this total amount. Total amount. And here again, as I'm using the aggregate function in the select, the rest of the column will come in the group by. Group by C dot customer name. We can give a order by clause also. Let's do it by the second column this time in the descending order. We run this. So this customer name has this much of amount, euro has this much of amount. We can see this. Great. Let's leave a comment here. Customer name with more than 50,000 amount payments. We would have now another query. So let's do one thing. Let's now go to the order tables. Select everything from orders. So in the order, we have multiple details: order number, date, required date, status, shipped. In the we also have comments and customer number. This is going to be our key for this table. And in the shipped, we also have multiple, like here, cancelled. So you might have different values here. You can find out cancelled, cancelled. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the cancelled status. So from orders, we're going to find the customer details also. So let's say customers C join orders O on C dot customer number is equal to O dot customer number, this one. Then we are going to put a condition where O dot status is, we have on hold also. So let's say on hold. And again, we are going to count this. So for which customer, for customers, how many orders are on hold or cancelled? So we say T dot customer name. Then let's count everything as orders on hold. And if I run this, okay, there's something missing. See, so I missed the group by, and that's why this is the not working. So every time I have to use aggregate function in the select statement, I'm going to pick rest of the columns and put it in the group by. And we run this. So we have these 4 customers where orders on hold. We also had the cancelled. So I'll say cancelled and we can change this cancelled, and I can get the right order cancelled. So these many orders have been cancelled by these customers. So cancelled orders for customers. Let's move ahead and we'll write a few more queries before we wind up. Now what we can do is we can let me find something and do something, a new question maybe. Let's find orders on a particular day. So we say select everything from products. Because we want to find out the product name, which product has been sold more on a particular day. And here we say products. Now we are going to use join. Let's call this P, join. And we can then use order table, or we might have to use different table for details. So what I can do is just give me a second here. I say select everything from order details. Maybe run this. Okay, order details table. Right, so we have the order number, code, order line number. Okay, and so that means we'll have to use multiple tables. We'll have to take consideration, we'll have to take orders and products and order table in the query. Let's do it. It's going to be interesting. So select everything from products. Let's call this P. And we are going to join this with the order details. Let's call this OD on. So P dot, we have product code, right? Same with the OD, we have product code, right? We are going to say join orders table, and let's call this O on. So we are going to have OD dot order number, and then O dot order number here, right? And then we have, if I run this, we'll get all the data. So this is fetching all the columns and everything. But what we want is, we want to find the details on a specific day. So our condition is going to be where the day on the O dot order date. So this orders table has the order date. And if we say this to Monday, let's suppose, and here let's get few details. So from products, we are going to get the product name, and then from O, let's get the order date, and this one, why not get this also, day name as day. Let's see if this is working or not. Okay, we have some problem here, and I think this is not day, it is going to be day name. Here also day name. Hmm, let's see if this is working or not. Fine. So we have the Monday. These are all the products sold on Monday. If I make it Monday, we get Sunday. We are also getting the order date. If we want the order date, we can get it. Otherwise, we can remove it. We can put any number of columns here. Okay, so this is fine. So we have product name, order date, and the date. And we can add multiple tables so we can get all other data also. Right. So next, let's write a query where list products, from a customer. So we say select everything from again products, and see this is showing us error because I need semicolon here. And now products, let's call this P, and we are going to say join order details, call this OD on P dot product code, and then we are going to have OD dot product code. Then we can again put the join on the orders. Let's call this O on OD dot order number, O dot order number. Then again join with the customers because we want to find out the customers also. So it was going to be C dot C dot, okay, we need to have on C dot customer number, and then we would also have O dot customer number, right? If I run this, it would give us all the data. So we can give it a C dot customer name and a name of the customer. So I don't know the name of the customer. Okay, we had a name. Let's say who, something like this was there. I'm not sure. I remember this. Okay, and we can get all the details. So let's run this. Right, so we have product and customer name is this, yeah, Erico gift. Let's find few products because there are a lot of products. So I will say product name, and we say product line. Then let's get the O dot order number, and then we can get the price each, and then we can get the C dot customer name. Let's run this now. There's something wrong or what? So let's see what is wrong. Unknown column O dot price each. It was OD. Right? So now we have product name, product line, order number, price each, and the customer name. Right? So this was great. I believe this was all. We have built multiple queries, and in the same way we can do a lot of queries. I think I just wanted to show you how to write few queries. Then you can explore further. So this was all for this video. In the next one, we'll do a different database analysis. Thank you.